Good afternoon, my name is Anthony Gooden. I'm a student at Full Sail taking the music production program. I'm here with Dave Kennedy. He's the lead director of the rap program here at Tri-C Community College. Today, me and Mr. Kennedy will be talking about visual arts and how they impacted our field of study. What do you see as the role of visual arts in society today, particularly in your profession?
Well, being in music production, everybody needs a video now. It's not even a question for a band that they need to have a visual representation on the web. That is the first place that people look to find out about a new group. If you're a group or an individual artist and you tell people about your music, or you're trying to get your bookings for gigs, or you're trying to get a grant proposal done so you can work on a project, if you're trying to market your recordings, the first place people look to find out about a band is or an artist is YouTube. And having a video element with your music is essential now. A live concert recording, a produced music video, even just you an acoustic guitar, if that's what you do, in order to get it out there. So I think it's huge. If we're looking at it in society as a whole, just think about the amount of screen time people have. I don't talk about watching TV or whatever as much anymore, because people are just dividing their attention between screens. We're looking at screens at work. We're looking at screens to and from work on our phone. It's everywhere. So you got to have it if you're a musician, and if you're a band, you have to find a way to rise above that noise and have your stuff stick out.
New communications and media technology make imagery almost instantly available. Do you believe that this is having a positive or negative influence on your field?
Well, instantly available, I think ultimately can be considered very positive. In terms of imagery, we want to see there's more of it available. It is instantly available, so there's no escaping either of those two facts. If I want to find out about an artist, I can probably see what they ate for dinner last night. I can see, I can look online and see, a picture of them enjoying themselves. They'll post pictures of them working in the studio. That's one of the cool things about bands and music production now, is they're showing their creative process through video. A lot of times with their own blogs or extras associated with an album release or something like that, or tour, doing documentaries about their tour. The amount of artistry, training, time, understanding composition of an image is much like understanding composition of a song. You have to know how to use the tools. Yes, you can point a lens at something and get an image. Yes, you can point a microphone at someone and get the sound they're making. But when you're in an area of study like this, visual design or music recording and production, you learn to use those in similar ways, lenses and microphones in similar ways, where placement makes a big difference.
What popular images do you see that are frequently repeated throughout your industry?
Well, I would say it depends on genre. If I'm looking at music, I'm looking at things like magazine shoots, album covers, videos, live concert footage. Those are the biggest things that you see coming out of our industry. So it's genre dependent. Heavy metal, you're going to see a lot of, especially death metal, the cryptic font, where the letter style is very hard to read, and that's used over and over in heavy metal and death metal music. Exposition of, showing off of money things, things that money can buy. So you do see a lot of repeated imagery. You have to wait for somebody new that's different to break out of that, to convince a whole bunch of people to follow whatever that person's doing. Then you have a whole bunch of imitators again, and the cycle will repeat itself.
Who is one of your favorite visual artists? And what is your favorite style of visual art?
Well, I don't know if I have any favorites. I was just having a conversation with one of my colleagues about D.A. Levy, who was a poet from Cleveland in the 60s, and he had made some books of his poetry. and he was using some experimental printing techniques where he was taking images and printing them on top of each other. I don't know if graphic design is a style, but I think that might be one of the most powerful things, just looking at billboards. An image with a couple of words can convey in just a blink of an eye as you're driving by on the highway and get that thought stuck in your head and plant that whatever message they're trying to get at. It's so powerful where when we're working in music production, you know, we have to struggle to get an idea across in 3 to 5 minutes. A lot of radial designs like mandalas, so traditional art that is somehow concentric or circular. I like symmetry. There's a graffiti artist I really like. His name is Sano. He's from Cleveland, and he's gone to work for like Reebok and shoe companies, video game companies, sodas, doing computer art and graphics.
How has your knowledge of famous artwork influenced your creative process?
I was a student. I spent a lot of time at the Cleveland Museum of Art. Any prehistoric stuff they had there, Native American stuff, as well as the modern art pieces, like stuff that has patterns in a lot of ways. It helped me develop the ability to focus, to spend time on stuff, because I would sit there and look at the paintings for a long time and stay in one place and be still and just try and kind of take it in. They had a bunch of Buddhist monks in there one year, and they were building a large 8-foot wide sand mandala where they had these little funnels, and they were little metal funnels with ridges on the top, and they'd scoop up some colored sand, and the end of this was so narrow that one grain of sand at a time would come out. Wow. And they would take another piece of metal and rub them, so it vibrated them slightly, so a little bit would come out at a time, and they started to design this large picture, and there were like 6 of them working on it at a time. A lot of times you can't bang out a masterpiece. You have to put time, you have to do revisions, and you have to allow yourself the ability to step away and look at it, so you can say, oh, this is not really as good as I thought it was, or you know what, I didn't realize it, but at this point I'm really copying what somebody else did or something. I have to think about why is my version different. Thanks a lot.